Missouri Governor Mike Parson made some employers very happy the other day when he announced that he's ending the $300 additional unemployment benefits that Missourians can get. That it's no help to the state budget because this is federal money, but the governor said he's ending it because it's making too many people stay out of the labor market, making it too difficult for employers to find workers.
Well, there's no doubt there's a labor shortage, especially at the low end of the pay scale. And that's what Parson is aiming to do, force people into those low paying jobs. The effect is to take, the typical unemployment payment from a little less than 600 down to a little less than 300. I mean, it maxes out, at about $300, a little more than that. So, there's probably some truth that if I'm the guy who normally worked for, $12 an hour and I'm getting 600 now, maybe I won't take that job. Maybe I'll stay out. The people are going to get hurt by this are the people who lost, the $20 an hour job. And they figure at 600 a week, I can hold out for a while and maybe get something at my skill level. 300 a week, I'm going to be in the restaurant kitchen washing dishes. What do you think?
Well, there were also, there are about 144,000 Missourians who are getting these enhanced benefits right now. About 50,000 of those people are getting they're getting the $300 supplement from the federal government in addition to their regular state benefit they qualify for. But about the other 90,000 are people who will get nothing. They were either gig workers, Uber drivers and the like, who just saw their incomes dry up, and they qualified under these special relief bills that the federal government passed, or they've been unemployed for more than 20 weeks, and their state benefit has run out, and the federal was going to keep paying them for a while. So, those people are probably going to face the most hardship. I mean, maybe they can go find a job making something, but if their livelihood, being an Uber driver or whatever, hasn't come back yet, it's going to be difficult for them.
And they're some of them are facing other impediments. If I had, I have 3 children, and last year I had daycare set up, but the daycare center is closed. And my kids are going to school part-time, so I can't exactly go back to work. The argument against this is you ought to let the economy rev up a little bit more, before you cut these things off.
Well, that's right. My prediction is this isn't going to make a lot of difference to the labor shortage. You've got, I think the employers who are complaining now that they can't find workers, when this takes effect June 12th, they're still going to be complaining that they can't find workers. I mean, you had a lot of people just left the labor force when COVID hit. Maybe they were laid off, or maybe they just decided to retire because they didn't want to be in a job dealing with the public and expose themselves to the virus. Their retirement accounts are probably doing pretty well. Their house is worth more. They're not going to unretire now and come back to the labor force. And you've also got a lot of parents whose childcare just dried up, or their kids were sent home from school to do virtual school.
Sure.
They are not all of a sudden going to be able to go back to the labor force until that gets fixed.
I also think that part of this labor shortage comes from the great churning that we're seeing in the economy. They're trying to hire a lot of people very fast in these service jobs because people are going back to restaurants. I'm going back to restaurants. People are going to hotels. Mm-hmm. And, the hotel maid that you laid off last year is now working at Schnucks. She's not on the market anymore. The restaurant cook is now working in a warehouse. He's not in the market anymore. You have to find new people, because you can't, rehire the people you laid off.
Well, that's right. And for the restaurant industry in particular, I mean, what was always you could always find work in that industry, and then all of a sudden you couldn't. I think it made a lot of workers kind of rethink their career path, and that job at Amazon with benefits look pretty good, and they're not going to they're not going to quit that job to go back to restaurant work now, probably, even, even if they can. So yeah, I think the labor shortage complaints, you're still going to hear about them for a while. It's just, yeah, the labor market doesn't adjust. People don't change their lives that quickly.
Yeah.
Also, the federal benefits are going to run out in September anyway, and I don't think Congress is going to extend them again. We're now coming out of this pandemic. The economy is pretty well recovered. That would not be the right move. So I think workers are already looking at, that is running out, and if they were just kind of living off that extra $300 a month, they already know that's going to end. It's not going to change their timetable by that much.
And there's a bit of a bright side, as long as you're not an employer, a bright side to the fact that there's a labor shortage in the low end of the labor scale, in that they're going to have to raise wages, which is the economist's answer to any business person who says, I can't hire, pay more, you'll get people in. So,
well, it is, but what the business person would say to that economist is, I don't know if the labor market's always going to be that tight. If I raise wages now, I have a really difficult time cutting them a year from now when it's easier to find workers. So they're some of them are being creative. They're offering hiring bonuses or other kinds of benefits to get people in. That's what you see in a tight labor market. That's healthy, but it's just going to take time to get all those jobs filled.
I agree.